standing warm up, 10-15 minutes. You might want some little hand weights. If you've got proper weights, fantastic. Otherwise, I have gone for Heinz baked beans. As always, if anything doesn't feel great, it might not be, so just err on the side of caution, get in touch, maybe check your position. But if it doesn't really feel like things are working properly, then please let me know. Don't just carry on. Alrighty, so we'll come and stand feet together and then step toes apart, bring heels in line. Just take a moment to notice how you feel down through those feet, where the weight is, and then just scanning up through the body, noticing how you feel today. And then very gently start to roll your ankles in and then out. And again, just noticing how they move, how they feel, how one side compares to the other. And as you roll those in and out, noticing how that changes the feeling all the way up through your legs, right up into your bottom, maybe into your tummy and hips a little bit as well. We will just let those ankles come to a nice middle position. So you've got a little lift under the inside of each arch. Pick up the toes, spread them apart, and then let them come back to the mat. Just see if you can find relatively equal weight into each heel and the base of each big toe and little toe on each foot. Maybe have a little soften through your knees, and then we'll just tilt the pelvis backwards and forwards a few times. So if you imagine the pelvis like a bowl of water, pouring a little bit of water out of the front of the bowl, a little bit of water out of the back. And if that maybe is a little bit stiff and stuck, then bend the knees a bit more, and that should make that movement a little bit easier and accessible to you. And then just settle into a position where the bowl of water is nice and level. You should feel a little bit of lift through your lower tummy. Think about widening across your collarbones. You can imagine your head like a helium balloon, and that is just floating up towards the ceiling. And then just imagine you've got a little bit of water running down the middle of your back, and very gently just allow your shoulder blades to follow that water. And finally, think about your ribs at the front of the body just sinking and softening in towards your backbone. We'll have a few deep breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you breathe in, just let your head float up a little bit further. And as you breathe out, let those shoulders sink down. And if you've got the weights in your hands, as you breathe out, just think about those weights drawing your arms down towards the floor. A couple more breaths. Breathing in, head floating up a bit further. Breathing out, letting those weights pull your arms heavy down towards the floor. We're just going to have a little roll through the shoulders, so starting nice and small, keeping the head floating up, rib cage just sinking and softening in towards the backbone. If that feels good, just taking those circles a little bit bigger. Keeping going with those nice deep breaths. And then pause, roll the shoulders forwards. Again, nice and small and easy. And then maybe start to make those circles a little bit bigger. And then we'll pause and just roll back for a couple and let them relax down. Okay. So bring your palms up, so you've got elbows heavy under the shoulders and elbows are just touching the sides of your waist. We're going to breathe out to open and breathe in to come back. So we're keeping the chest soft, keeping the ribs at the front gently sinking in towards the backbone. Thinking nice and wide across the collarbones, but we're just looking for rotation through the shoulder joint. We're not changing our position through the body. Head stays floating up. And just check your knees are still soft. Check with where you can feel the weight through your feet again. equal weight into each heel and the base of each big toe and little toe. And then on the next one, we're going to reach away and add a twist and come back again. So a nice long breath out to open and reach, and then breathing in to come back. So don't think about lifting your arms, just think about reaching and lengthening. If anything doesn't feel too good through your shoulders, just keep it smaller, make it easier. Let's go for one more like that. And then come back to the start position. And then this time we're going to reach forward and then open. Come to the front and elbows come back in. All the time, keep thinking about those shoulder blades following that bit of water down the middle of your back. Collarbones wide, keeping the ribs at the front sinking in towards the backbone. So again, nice long breath out to push forwards and open wide, breathing in to come back to the centre and draw the elbows back to the waist. All the time, collarbones wide. That's it. Go for one more. Good, and come back to the middle and have a little shake. Okay, so we are going to do quite a few squats in this. So if you know your knees are not massive fans of squats, just keep them really small. Always check your knees are in line with your middle toes. I'm going to keep a bit of lift through the tummy. So we're going to breathe out, send the seat bones backwards, arms forwards. Breathe in and come back up again. And just think about the weight coming into your heels as you sink down, and then pushing up through those heels as you come back up. And you might notice those seat bones widening as you sink down, and they just draw towards each other as you squeeze back up. All the time, collarbones wide, keeping the lift through the tummy. Sending those seat bones backwards if you're sitting back into a chair. Okay, we're going to hold the next one. We're going to take those arms so they're just slightly behind us. Keep the lift through the tummy, and we're just going to pulse those arms backwards and forwards, so little hundreds. And then we're going to lift one heel. And then we're going to lift the other heel. And then switching over. Lots of positive energy through those arms. Try and keep the collarbones wide. One more heel lift on each side. And come back up again. Good job. Go do another set of those. Sink down. Keep breathing. That's deep breaths. Keep the rib cage connected. Keep the lift through the tummy. Keep thinking about length through the back of your neck. Well done. One more here, lift each side. And come back up. Nice. Okay. We're going to do a few more. I'll stay this way around. So we're going to go into some little tricep curls. So we're going to come into our squat, do 10 tricep curls and come back out again. So sink down, bring those arms back behind you, bend and then push back. So your elbows stay in the same spot, just really squeezing out so those arms straighten. Nice breath out to squeeze those arms back. We'll go 3, 2, 1. Come back up. Another set of those. So sink down, bring the arms behind you. 2, 3, 4. Keep the lift through the tummy. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and come back up. Have a little shake through there, well done. Okay, feet wide this time, toes turned out towards 2 and 10 o'clock. We're going to imagine that we're stood against the wall, got wall behind us, and we're going to breathe out, slide down that wall, and breathe in to come back up again. It's going to come hopefully a little bit more to the middle of the screen. So breathe out, sink down, breathe in and come back up. And again, you don't need to go very far down. Keep the lift through the tummy. Think about your tailbone dropping straight towards the floor. Those knees are still tracking out over the middle toes. So if you find that your knees are coming inside of your middle toes, just reduce the angle of turnout through your feet. And just check you've got equal weight into each foot, all the way down, all the way back up. Really keep the lift through the tummy, tailbone dropping towards the floor. You think about your pelvis like that bucket of water again. You want the water to be really level in that pelvis or bowl all of the time. Okay, we're going to hold the next one. Turn the palms up. We're going to bicep curl, lift one heel, bicep curl, lift the other heel, bicep curl, lift both heels, and come back up again. And again, hold, palms up, one heel, other heel, both heels, and come back up. Keep going. 1, 2, both. Couple more sets. 1, 2, both. Last one. Sink down. 1, 2, both. This time we're going to sink down, hold the squat, and we're just going to circle through those arms. So keep reaching long through those fingertips, keep lifting through the tummy. Sinking the tailbone towards the floor, keep gently pushing those knees out. Pause, change the direction of the circles. Keep breathing. You can feel those shoulders, feel your shoulders coming up to your ears, just drop the hands a little bit. Always keep them reaching out. Well done. And come back up. Last time, palms up this time, little circles. Keep reaching long through those arms. Feel the burn in those quads a bit. Oh, keep going. Change the direction of your circles. Keep lifting through the tummy. Weight into the heels. Well done. And come back up. Okay. Have a little shake out through there. We are just going to finish the warm up with some reverse lunges. I'll turn sideways to start with. So basically, we are going to step back, let the knee come down, and bicep curl, and step back up again. We'll do alternate legs. So take it nice and slowly. Keep the lift through the tummy. As that knee drops down, you want a relatively straight line, shoulder, hip, knee. And you want to make sure your front knee is staying up above the ankle. That's not coming forwards over your toes. And again, you can keep these small. If you can touch the knee down, that's great. Otherwise, just a little sink. Come back up is fine. Good balance challenge as well. Let's just go one more each side. And come back up. Well done. Right, have a little shake through arms and legs. We'll just do a couple of roll downs and then we'll come down onto the mat. So, feet under hips. Stand up nice and tall. Just soften through the knees. Have a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, gently peel yourself down towards your feet. It doesn't matter where you get to. Pause wherever you're comfortable. And we're just going to circle the arms. So you can let the crown of the head hang towards the mat. Let those shoulders relax and sink forwards. And then pause, take those circles the other way. And then just let those arms
pause, and when you're ready, on and out breath, keep the knees soft, lift through the tummy, tuck the tailbone, peel yourself slowly back up again. And we'll do the same again, breathing out, peel yourself down, pause wherever you're comfy, nice easy circles in one direction. And then pause, take the circles the other way. Really let the crown of the head hang towards the mat, keeping a lift through the tummy. And then pause, and again when you're ready, soften those knees, lift through the tummy, tuck the tailbone, peel back up again. Once more. Breathing out to peel down. Pausing at the bottom, circling through those arms. Let the crown of the head hang forwards. And then pause, circle the other way. And then come to the middle, bend the knees a little, drop the tailbone, lift through the tummy, peel back up. Have a nice deep breath in. And grow tall. And then when you're ready, we'll peel down one last time. Just pop your hand weights to one side. Make sure they don't roll away. See if the fingers can find the mat. We're going to lift one heel and then lift the other heel and just pedal out through the back of the legs. If your fingers don't reach the mat, just rest your hands on your shins, wherever is comfy, so you have a little bit of support. We're just getting a bit more stretch through the back of one leg, and then a bit more stretch through the back of the other. And then let both heels come down, bend the knees, walk the hands forward, and come down onto the mat. And we will work into. So just working into cat, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Have a nice deep breath in, and then we're going to breathe out, tuck the tailbone, round the back up towards the ceiling. Breathe in and lengthen back to neutral. So nice breath out, really lift through the tummy, tuck the tailbone. Breathing in, reaching the top of the head forward, lengthening back to neutral. So just think about the base of your sternum coming towards your tailbone, and then lengthening out and away again. So breathing out, base of the sternum comes in towards the tailbone, and then breathing in, lengthening forwards. Just go for 3 more. Check the shoulders stay relaxed, head can just drop towards the mat, and then lengthening the top of the head forward, coming back to neutral. One more. And back to neutral. So just going to a little bit of thread the needle, so you might want to step your hands forward half a handprint. We're going to reach one arm underneath and then coming back through and opening that arm up towards the ceiling and back again. Same on the other side, reaching under and then opening through. And we just want hips to stay up above the knees, lots of length through the back, nice rotation. Nice breath in as you really open up, breathing out to reach underneath. Let's go for one more each way. Last one. Coming back to centre. So we're going to stay in this position, bring those wrists so they're back under the shoulders. Just find a nice neutral position. You've got the natural curve through your lower back, but you've still got that feeling of the tummy just lifting up away from the mat. Shoulder blades sliding towards the back pockets, but then the rib cage just floating up a little as well. If you imagine you've got a ponytail, someone's pulling that up towards the ceiling and forwards. Okay, so just get a little feeling of the back of your arm kind of wrapping towards the rib cage. So it's just a kind of closing of the back of your armpit, and you should just feel that really activates a lot of muscles around the shoulder, just helps to stabilise you. So Shoulder blades sliding towards the back pockets, rib cage floating up a little, back of those arms just wrapping the armpits. So we're going to breathe out, slide one leg backwards, breathe in, and that's going to return. And then same on the other side. And then we're going to imagine we've got a nice tray of champagne balanced across our lower back. And we're not going to spill any of that. Okay, so we're going to add a bit of a variation on with the legs. We're going to breathe out, slide the leg backwards, let it float up. Pause for an in-breath and draw the heel so it's up towards the ceiling. Breathe out for a little squeeze up and then draw that knee all the way forwards and round. And breathe in for that leg to come back again. Breathing out, reaching the leg backwards. Pause for an in-breath as you bend at the knee. Breathe out to squeeze up and then draw that knee forwards and down. So all the way through that, keeping the feeling of lift of the lower tummy away from the mat and back to neutral. And down. So breath out to slide and float, breath in to bend, breath out to squeeze up, and then draw that knee in and back to the mat. Bend, squeeze up, draw that knee in, round through the back, gently back down. So really keep lifting that tummy as you squeeze the heel up towards the ceiling. Keep the back of those armpits wrapping. Just go one more each side. Come back to centre. Okay, so we're just going to do reach away through opposite arm and leg, and then we're going to do elbow to knee. So breathe out to reach away, pause for breath in, and then breathe out, draw elbow to knee, and breathe in to reach back out to neutral. So moving nice and slowly. Imagine you're drawing your knee and that elbow through treacle. Done. And here for 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Reach away, and let that hand and leg come down. Same on the other side. Breathe out to reach away, keep the lift through the tummy. Have a breath in, and as you breathe out, elbow to knee. In to reach away. So even as you reach away, keeping tummy lifted away from the mat, trying to keep lower back nice and level. Let's go for 3, 2, 1. Reach away, come back down, and we'll drop back into shell stretch. Take the knees a bit wider if you want more of a stretch into the hips. Just let the head come to the mat. And take some nice deep breaths into the back of the rib cage. And then we're going to walk the arms across to one side. So stay nice and low, shoulders parallel to the floor. Find that stretch into the long side of the body. And just breathe into the long side. So as you breathe in, you should feel those ribs expand, just increasing the stretch on the long side. And then breathing out, empty out all that air and relax. And then we'll walk the hands across to the other side. move my baked beans out of the way. And then finding that stretch through this long side of the body. Nice deep breath in. Feel those ribs expand, increasing the stretch a little, and breathe out. Empty out all that air. And gently coming back to the centre. Swap those hands back up towards you, and we will come over onto our backs. And I've just realised my head cushions are just out of shot, so I should just grab those. Getting very relaxed and disorganised these days. Right, so grab a head cushion if you would like one. If you haven't got a cushion, a little rolled up towel or folded up towel works quite well too. Alright, so just find some length through the back of your neck. Bring the feet together, and we're actually going to keep the feet together, legs glued together, and we're going to work into a level 2 hip twist to start with. But before we do, just draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Take some nice deep breaths, and just allow your body to settle into the mat. So breathing in, really filling the body with air. And breathing out, just emptying out all that air and really letting the body sink down into the floor. And just think about nice width across the front of the collarbones. Check that you can just let that neck relax, maybe look over one shoulder, look over the other, come back to the centre. Just really find that heavy feeling down into the floor. And then we'll just take the arms a little bit wider. We're going to keep the shoulder blades glued to the floor. And we're going to breathe out and just gently roll the knees across to one side, any amount. Keeping the knees glued, the ankles glued. Hold for a breath in. And as you breathe out, think about your ribs drawing back to the mat first, then your waist, and then your bottom, and then over to the other side. So pause for a nice deep breath in, keep the shoulder blades glued to the mat, breathe out, draw the ribs, and then the waist, and then your bottom back to the mat. And over to the other side. So really reaching out through that top knee, so you're getting a nice length and a bit of stretch through. And then as you come back, really get those ribs coming back to the mat first, and then your waist, and then your bottom. So just mobilising to start with, and then getting a little bit of work through those obliques. If you want to look over the opposite shoulder, you're very welcome to. Just make sure that top foot is coming up away from the mat so you can really reach out through that top knee. Just wiggling down my mat. Let's go one more each side. And come back to centre. So we'll bring those feet back to hip width apart. Now, we're going to come straight up into double tabletop. So if you know that you struggle to maintain neutral and you're happier a little bit flatter into the mat, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, have a roll of the pelvis backwards and forwards a couple of times. And then just find your neutral position. So if you're not sure, make the diamond with your hands, thumbs in your belly button, fingers down towards the legs. And those thumbs and fingers should be nice and level. Back of the rib cage heavy into the mat. So we're going to breathe out to float the first leg up. We're going to think about the ribs sinking down towards the hips and breathe out to float the second leg up. And from here we're going to go into level 2 scissors. So we're just going to breathe out to tap a set of toes down, breathe in to come back up, and then the same on the other side. So just checking the back of the rib cage stays heavy into the mat, and if you're in neutral, they've got that little pocket of air under the middle of the lower back. If you're more comfortable flattened and you feel more stable and that's good for you, that's absolutely fine. Whichever position you're in, that should not change as you take the centre toes to the floor. So if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, tap those toes a little bit further away from you. Breathing out to tap them down, breathing in to come back up. Just check what's going on through your neck. Maybe imagine you're a little soft peach between your chin and your chest. Just gently keeping that there, so you keep the length through the back of the neck. And then if you want to make it a little bit more challenging still, tap that heel down to the floor. So you're just opening up through the front of the hip and then folding back again. Keeping that control through the body. Okay, go one more each side like that, and then we're going to take it into a bicycle leg. So we're going to start the same way, but we'll go toes towards the mat, then reach them out towards the far wall, float back up and fold back in. Toes towards the floor, but they reach away before they hit the floor, and then floating back up and folding into tabletop. So we'll breathe out to reach away and float up, and we'll breathe in to fold back in again. Let's go 3 more each side. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and then we're going to go the other way around. So really keep the control, breathe out to reach the leg away, lower the straight leg towards the mat, and then draw the heel to bottom and back up again. Breathing out to reach away and lower, breathing in to draw the heel back and up into tabletop. Keeping the ribs connected, keeping that same position, either neutral or flat into the mat. If in doubt, come flatter. We do not want that back arching away from the floor. And each time you breathe out, you can just think about resetting those deeper tummy muscles, drawing little bony hip points towards each other. Let's go 3 more each side. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Good, hold there. So we're going to go straight into our single leg stretch. We're going to come up into abdo prep, and we're just going to hold gently either side of the knee. So you're just keeping that feeling of those ribs down towards the hips. Top of the head is reaching out and away from you. Shoulders drawing away from the ears. Well done. 3 more each way. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Hold. Keeping your double tabletop, hands towards the ceiling. We're going to double leg stretch. So one leg reaches away as those arms travel backwards, and then folds back in as the arms come around. So I am now flat into the mat. I struggle to maintain neutral here. So it doesn't matter if you're in neutral or if you're flat in the mat, but you're maintaining that position, not letting the back arch further. If you're in neutral, or at all if you're flat in the mat. Sorry, I'm a little bit hampered by my curtains in my left arm. Let's go for 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and then curl into a little ball and have a little roll side to side. It is now very warm in here. Okay, so a little bit of work into bridge next. Oh, my little beagle dog is coming to investigate. Oh no, no, she's taken a left turn. Okay, so head cushions to one side, length through the back of the neck. Bring those feet hip width apart again, maybe heels a little bit closer to your bottom. Have a breath in, and then as you breathe out, you're going to roll your pelvis towards you. And gently peel away from the mat, one little backbone at a time, keeping those ribs soft and heavy, tailbone tucked. Hold for a breath in and breathe out to melt that down to the mat. And again, breathing out, roll the pelvis towards you and peel up. Hold for the in-breath and then breathe out and peel back down again. So you could keep working with your bridge just like that. If you want to make it a bit trickier, we're going to add some foot floats and maybe some straight leg work as well. So, breathing out to roll up. Hold at the top of your bridge there. Make sure it's your bum muscles working nice and hard to keep those hips high. And then we're just going to float one leg up into single tabletop and gently back down. And then the other leg up into single tabletop and gently back down. We're going to do 2 more each side, trying to keep those nice bony hip points nice and level. Really driving through the supporting leg, keeping the ribs soft, keeping those little bony hip points drawing towards each other. And then peeling back to the mat. So you could do another set like that, or final option, peeling up. Hold at the top. Float one leg into single tabletop, straighten that leg, lower and lift. 2, 1, come back up, fold into your tabletop and down. Same on the other side, up to tabletop, straighten the leg up, lower, lift, lower, lift. 1 more, fold and down, and peel yourself back to the mat. We'll do 1 more set of whichever version you like. Peeling up, float one leg up, straighten, lower, lift. You could just be doing your single tabletop version, doesn't matter. Fold and down, lower, lift, lower, lift. 1 more, fold and down, and then peeling all the way back to the mat. And we'll draw one knee in, draw the other knee in, and have a good roll side to side. Okay, so we're going to come up to sit and we're going to do some roll ups. So you can either roll to one side and push yourself up, or have a little roll backwards and forwards, minding the dog, and roll yourself up. Hello, what are you doing, Dopey? You look very sleepy. Go on, off you go. Or just lie down. Right, you might want your weights back again. Totally optional. We're going to do some roll-ups. So you want to sit nice and tall up on those seat bones. Knees bent, legs hip width apart. All the time we want shoulders sinking down and head floating up. So, nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to roll off those seat bones. Try and pour the water out of the back of the pelvis or the back of the bowl. Keep pouring that water and then gradually allow the body to lean back a little. So you should really feel scooped in through these tummy muscles. We'll just hold for a couple of breaths this time. And then on an out breath, tuck those ribs in a bit more. Come forwards towards the knees. Find the seat bones and lengthen up. Okay, same again. Breathing out, pour the water out of the back of the bowl. Keep pouring that water and allow a little bit of a lean backwards. Keep the tailbone really tucked underneath you. Couple of breaths here. And then breathing out, tuck the ribs in, coming forwards towards those knees. Find your seat bones. And then stack up from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Okay, we're going to add some movement, arm movements into this next one. We'll start with like a just a normal row. Oh, one of these. It's right for some, isn't it? So, breathing out, roll off those seat bones, tuck the tailbone, lean backwards. And then we're just going to draw those elbows back and reach forward. Back and reach forward. We're going to go for about 10. So you could do this with your TheraBand if you didn't want to use weights. You could just have the TheraBand wrapped around your feet. Slightly different feeling. All the time, the collarbones wide, shoulders sinking down, head floating up, tailbone tucked underneath you. Go for 3, 2, 1, and then tuck those ribs in, rolling forwards, find the seat bones, sit up nice and tall. We'll go for some high rows this time. So breathing out, roll off those seat bones and roll backwards. Elbows nice and high, coming out to the sides. So really drawing those elbows back, shoulders stay relaxed, sinking down away from the ears, head stays floating up towards the ceiling. So if you can feel it's difficult to keep those shoulders down, just lower the elbows a little bit. We'll go for 3, 2, 1, and then tuck those ribs in, roll forwards, find the seat bones, grow up tall. Last variation, so rolling backwards, set that position. Hands high, we're just going to bicep curl. So elbows stay nice and high, just bringing hands to shoulders, opening up again. Keep those shoulder blades sliding down your back, head floating up towards the ceiling, tailbone touch, ribs connecting in. We'll go 3, 2, 1, and then tuck those ribs in, come forwards, find the seat bones, grow up tall. Last variation, bit of rotation, okay. A little roll through those shoulders if we need to. Breathing out, roll off the seat bones, tuck the tailbone and roll backwards. We're going to open one arm to the side and twist towards it, come back to the middle, same the other side. So keeping the tailbone tucked all of the time, keeping those ribs connecting in. Just breathing out to draw an elbow back, open that arm, rotate towards it. Breathing in to come back through the centre. Shoulders relaxing down all of the time, even though they're getting tired. Head floating up to the ceiling, collarbones nice and wide. Diesel doesn't know what all the fuss is about. We're going to go 3 more each way. 3, 3, 2, 2, nearly there. 1, 1. Back to the centre, tuck those ribs in, come forwards. Sit up tall one last time, pop your weights to one side and just have a little fall forwards over those knees. Well done, we will just finish with a little bit of a stretch. So, come and sit, one leg out in front, knee out to the side on the other one. We'll have a nice deep breath in and reach up, and then breathe out and just come down towards that straight leg. It doesn't matter where you get to, doesn't matter where you hold on to, just find that stretch into the hamstring and maybe a little bit into this opposite side of the back. And breathe. Gently walk those hands back up. Bring the bent knee up towards the ceiling and cross that foot over. And then wrap the opposite arm around that knee. Draw the knee towards the chest, chest towards the knee. And each time you breathe in, see if you can grow a little bit taller, and as you breathe out, maybe twist a little bit more. So you get a nice twist through the back. You might find a bit of a stretch into those bum muscles. And just release back to centre, and we'll switch over. One leg out straight, other knee out to the side. Have a breath in and reach up, and breathe out to come down towards that straight leg. And again, it doesn't matter what you hold on, try and let those shoulders relax, think more about your tummy coming to the thigh, just finding that stretch into the back of the leg, and maybe a little bit into the opposite side of the back. Gently walk those hands up, or bring the knee up towards the ceiling, cross that over, opposite arm wraps around, other hand behind you, and again drawing the knee towards the chest, chest towards the knee, breathing in and grow tall, breathing out, maybe twist a little bit more. Gently unravel. We'll just come and sit either cross-legged or legs out straight in front of you if that's more comfortable. Just have a little stretch through the arms. So just bring one arm across in front of you. And just a gentle bit of pressure on that elbow, drawing the arm in towards you. So you just feel a stretch round through the back of the shoulder, maybe into the top of the arm a little bit. And then just release, other side. sitting up nice and tall, head floating up as you breathe in. Just relaxing as you breathe out. Release, take the other hand behind the head. Drops that. So if that is a tricky one for you, just don't come so far and just be wary what happens with your head and neck. Still try and keep your head from kind of having to bow forwards, keep the head floating up towards the ceiling. Gently release and switch over. Notice how much easier it is for me on my left than my right. And then just gently release. So just take one ear towards one shoulder. So you just find a little bit of stretch down the opposite side of the neck. And just gently rest the hand just to help increase that stretch a little. And we'll bring that hand out to the side and we'll just bring palm towards the forearm and then back of the hand towards the forearm. So just encouraging the nerves in that arm and that side of the neck just to slide and glide a little bit. And then gently release, come back to the middle, take the other ear towards the other shoulder. Again, just lightly resting the hand on top of the head just to encourage that stretch a little. And then reach that arm out, little flex and then extend. Release and come back to the middle, and finally we'll just interlace those fingers in front, really push the hands forward, round the back, find that stretch in between the shoulder blades, and then breathe in, draw the hands towards you, breathe out and reach up, and we'll do the same again, breathing out to reach the hands forward, really round through that upper back, find the stretch, breathing in to come in, and breathing out to reach up. And then just bring those hands down, change the interlace of the fingers, or just do that twice more. Last one. And come back to the middle. And you are done. Hope you enjoyed that one. That was quite hard work, so if you got through all of it, full marks, good stuff. Alright, take care.